Hello, everybody. My name is Gesa, and one of these three facts about me is not true. I had to escape a Russian gangster. I smuggled 2 punks in the boot of my car across a river. As a baby, I fell off the 3rd floor. These 3 facts are so against your norm of your expectations about white middle-class women like me that I can almost guarantee that your reptilian brain has snapped. I've got your attention now. Now I can start with my real message. Hello. I'm a liar. All 3 facts about me are actually true. And again, your reptilian brain snapped because I created a conflict for you. Conflict gets attention. I'm working in marketing, and in marketing, attention is the holy grail. So let's have a look what this reptilian snapping business has got to do with communication and how we can make a message stick. I'm now going to introduce you to a very, very simplified model of the brain. Let's call it the Marketeers Model, shall we? It starts with the now famous reptilian brain. The 2nd level is the limbic system, and the 3rd level is the neocortex. Let's dive a bit deeper and see what they're good for and why you should care. From an evolutionary perspective, the reptilian brain is responsible for fight, flight, food, and sex. Within milliseconds, we decide in the reptilian brain. The limbic system has to do with emotional processing, and in the neocortex is involved in higher order brain functions such as logic and language. This is where your analytical thinking takes place. Okay, back to the reptilian brain. Here, you decide on an instinct level about approach or avoidance. Okay, let's imagine me to be a cave woman. Yes, I ask you to change this exquisite stage outfit into a bearskin. Just don't make it too cold, please. Okay, you can all picture me now as a cave woman with my spear and my bearskin wandering around the woods. All of a sudden, there's noise in the bush. And I have to decide now, within milliseconds, if I'm going to approach that noise, because it could be my dinner, or if I rather avoid that noise, because it could be his dinner. I have to make this decision within milliseconds, otherwise I die. Because either I have never got anything to eat, or I will be eaten. All of your ancestors did a pretty good job on this. They were all able to decide within milliseconds. Otherwise, you wouldn't sit here. So you are also able to decide within milliseconds. Okay, the 2nd level, the limbic system, this is where we make our decisions. And in the neocortex, we rationalize our decisions. Now, if you've got an important message, let's say you've developed a machine that's 3 times faster than that of your competitors. I'm sure you've come up with a lot of good and rational reasons. You've got facts. You've got good arguments. This is the time where a lot of messages die. They die the death of rationality. I see that quite often in my job, unfortunately. Okay, why is that? Because we believe that we can implement the logic arguments that we painfully phrased in the neocortex directly into the neocortex of our customers. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. So while we believe that we are talking to the neocortex of our customers, the truth is that we first have to pass the reptile. If the reptile does not snap, if the reptile does not say approach within milliseconds, I can talk my head off. I can have as many good arguments about this brilliant machine. My message is lost. Okay, now you might think, okay, I just have to make the reptile snap. Unfortunately, we also have to master the next level, the limbic system. We have to create an emotional resonance. Okay, let's give you another example. Imagine me, okay, not in my bearskin, imagine me in Milano, no bearskin, please, in Milano. It smells of espresso, the sun is shining, I'm in a fabulous mood. Out of the corner of my eyes, I see something red. Makes my reptilian brain. Red shoes, they're gorgeous. Okay, now logic kicks in. Neocortex. I've got enough money. My husband probably would. I need a stage outfit. Decision made. No, decision rationalized. The decision was already made in the limbic system. Okay, so let's get practical. How do we make the reptile snap? You know that I'm working in advertising, and this is our creative director on our table tennis table in our underground car park in his own underwear. We used this picture as a job ad in a fairly conservative German newspaper. This picture deviated from the norm of German job ads. So we could guarantee that we had people's attention. Deviation from the norm gets people's attention. Why is that? Back to the bearskin. Every morning as a cave woman, I've got green frogs for breakfast. They're full of protein and they make my skin glow. This morning, there was a red frog. The red frog deviates from my breakfast norm. I had to decide within milliseconds now if I still have the breakfast, have the red frog for breakfast, and not be hungry for the rest of the day, or if I rather spare its life because it could be poisonous. So it's a question of survival again. Deviation from the norm gets our attention. However, do you remember that I said you have to master all three levels of the brain? Now you can imagine that this picture disturbs some people. They find it awful and disturbing. We didn't master the emotional, the limbic level with these people. Our message was lost to them. However, in our case, that didn't really matter because I'm pretty sure that these people weren't happy to work with us anyway. The reptilian brain is very quick. It only needs a couple of milliseconds to snap. I'm going to show you a film now that only lasts a couple of milliseconds. So you better watch out, otherwise you've missed the film. Okay, what did you see? Did you see a car? Colors? This is the amount of information that you just processed within milliseconds. Pictures, 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 pictures. Use pictures for your communication and make sure you choose them well. If you cannot use pictures in your communication, create an image in the brain of your customers through language. Okay, this is, by the way, the film that you just saw. It's a little holiday cottage in Brandenburg. We are the only species that has an area in their brain that's called the Fusiform Gyrus, and this area is responsible for facial recognition. Whenever we see a face, this area is activated. And it makes a big difference to us if there's a face on advertising posters or your machine. So no matter if it's a famous person or an unknown face, our brain reacts towards faces. There has been an interesting study. Embryos turn towards a light source of 3 dots if these 3 dots resemble a face. If the light source is turned upside down and it resembles a triangle, the embryos ignore the light source. Faces attract our attention. Okay, you know that I'm working in neuromarketing, so I'm now going to show you a more subtle effect. One of these images gets more clicks than the other. What do you think? It's the right one. And the only difference is that in the right picture, my pupils are enlarged. That's the only difference. Whenever we see something that excites us, be it a product or a person that we desire, our sympathetic nervous system kicks in and our pupils get dilated. We subconsciously recognize these signals in others. And especially men seem to react to dilated pupils in women. It leads to more clicks. Okay, now I've shown you a lot of examples how the reptile snaps. Let's talk about emotions. Oh dear, you might think. Not only does this woman look like a walking banana, now she wants to talk about emotions. Please. Please stick to the rational facts. This is a scientific format. Okay, as the scientist Antonio Damasio said, emotions are not a luxury. In the English word emotion, there is the word motion included. Emotion gets us going. So you could say that emotions are the locomotion that transport your message into the neocortex. Emotions get us going. They drive us toward a certain decision. It's either this way or that way. In marketing, emotions are really vital to us. They're really important. I'm now going to show you the difference between emotions and feelings. Okay, let's talk more emotions now. This is a thermometer. Okay, and imagine this to be the threshold of your consciousness. So whatever happens here is something you're not aware of. These are subconscious emotions. We call everything that happens here emotion. And everything that happens above the threshold, we call feeling. What happens here has already a big impact on your behavior. Let's say, for example, you experience fear, the emotion of fear. You experience the emotion of fear here, but you're not able to say, I'm feeling scared. Only once you've passed this threshold, you will be able to say, I'm feeling scared. However, what happens here has a big impact on your behavior. For example, you might book a hotel room because there are only 2 left. In neuromarketing, we are interested in what happens here because it has such a big impact on people's behavior. And that's why we use a lot of methods to find out about the subconscious goals and emotions of people. Okay, emotions are important for marketing because they help us to make decisions, and emotions are also important because they help to make a message stick. Okay, everybody, think of your first kiss. Okay, looking into the happy smiles of the people here, I can tell that you all remembered your first kiss. The reason for that is, whenever a situation is emotional, our body is flooded with hormones. And these hormones are like little rehooks or anchors, and they anchor the event in your brain. So that's the reason why you remember your first kiss, but not what you did last Thursday, for example. In marketing, we know that even subtle emotions have a big effect on marketing. People who are happy tend to make more risky decisions. They tend to try new things, while people who are in a slightly negative mood, they rather stick to the status quo. So if you want to sell a new product, make sure that your customer is happy. Make your customers a gift in advance, or do them a favor, tell them something nice. So sometimes it could be better for you to create a good mood than to give the right facts. Okay, to wrap this all together, how to make communication bulletproof and brain-friendly. First, make sure the reptile snaps. Second, let emotion transport your message into the neocortex and make it stick. And third, don't screw up your arguments. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Bye-bye.